Right off the top. Yo, and we're back. I'm here today with Aliya Kanani. Thank you for joining me.
Oh my God, thank you for having me.
We've been having mad technical difficulties for the last...
What have you been talking about? Everything's been smooth, real smooth. They don't need to
the
know.
last 20 minutes. I never said anything. I just said the microphones have been acting a little strange.
Okay,
someone dropped her mic.
Oh my God. See, this is why I didn't want to talk about it. You always want to talk about it off the
Someone
top.
dropped her mic, and now she's going to pay for a new one.
Here's the thing, right? It was in my way, okay? And I like to do a mic drop every now and then.
Yo, literally, right? You're like, is it? Yeah, mic drop. Boom.
And
it doesn't work anymore. What? She's gone? Okay. We'll figure it out.
Some people like to end with a mic drop. I like to start with one. No big deal. Just
Thank you for coming out here today.
Thanks for
to my
having
basement.
me.
I'm happy that you're not weirded out by me being in a basement here recording.
Honestly, if you had messaged me and you had said, "Would you like to come do a podcast in my basement?" I probably would have said no. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I left out the
this.
basement.
Now
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be a nice guest and go with the flow. But
Yeah.
I don't worry. I sent a couple of emergency messages to friends of mine with the address and a picture of
Oh,
me
yeah,
on
yeah,
Facebook.
girls have
Just
to.
like
Girls.
just in
It's
case
2020.
if I don't respond by 3 p.m. find me.
Episode will be out Tuesday, by the way. Yeah. I appreciate you coming here. You're one of the comedians in the city that I met when I first came to Toronto that I really look up to.
No,
You're never in the city to begin with.
you.
You know?
No,
You're always like working out of the city, which is like already like, that's amazing. You know?
Yeah, well, it's fun. It's fun, but I just that's my nature. Do you know what I mean? Like, not every comedian necessarily does all of that traveling, but that's just the person I am, is a bit of a gypsy. So it kind of, I like to travel.
Did you have a career before comedy?
All kinds of other ones.
And were they all travel based?
No, but the last one I was a flight attendant.
Oh yeah,
Which I did. I don't tell nobody that
most-
I was a flight attendant, because I was like, "Yo, what flight passes? I'm sorry, what are these? Oh, you
How
get
long
to
were
go
you
to
a flight
Paris
attendant?
for $80 round trip? I'm in." Just for like over a decade.
Actually?
Yeah. In fact, when I first started comedy, I didn't tell anybody, but I was still part-time as a flight attendant, which was perfect because I'd work like 8-9 days a month, part-time as a flight attendant, and then I just do comedy the rest of the time.
I could see it, Aliya. I could actually see that 100%.
The flight
I could
attendant
see
thing?
your face waking me up at like 2 a.m. Be like, water. It's like, I'm asleep.
Sir, hi.
Yeah. Hi, water. Would you like a complimentary Aqua de Gio in our like lounge catalog?
Complimentary, please.
No, not complimentary
Please.
at all. The catalog.
We charge for everything, motherfucker.
Did you guys sell like in the catalog stuff? Do you make a cut off that?
On the
Like,
on
you remember
the-
they sell
like
perfumes
the
and
duty
stuff?
free and stuff like that?
The catalog they present you in the air.
Right.
Yeah. Did you guys make a cut? Because I remember some of the flight attendants were pretty aggressive with their sell. I'm like, are they making a commission?
I'm gonna say, let's just say some of the airlines do and some of them don't. How's that for?
Who are you with?
Some of them do. I can't just. Some of
Yeah,
them
you were
do.
with a don't airline. It sounds like it.
I was with a do.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. You show me a Rolex.
You know?
I was with it too. The money's still good.
Right. Just I'm
Yo,
still
10
banking on that
years of
stuff.
So you've seen the world before you even did comedy, pretty much.
Yeah, I said that was my life mission. I always wanted to travel when I was a kid, so I figured out a way to do it. You know, I didn't have a means, but I found one.
Hell
I found one. So yeah, so I kind of just floated around for a long time. What I do is, when I worked as a flight attendant, what I loved about my particular post was that
And what post was that, by the way?
Well, I was a flight attendant, but I worked in the like regional stuff.
Yeah.
And people were always like, "Why don't you go to international?" And I'm like, because I don't want to go for like an overnight stay in Paris on a layover.
Yeah.
For 24 hours and then do what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, see this much and then have to go back, and you're exhausted with the time differences and constantly
You're
playing
right.
that game. But instead I got to work for the regional airline, and I'd be able to clump all my days together. So I'd work like a bunch of days in a row. And then I'd work, basically when I was full time, I'd work 15, 16 days a month. So I would bunch that together. So I'd basically work a month straight, because I'd put the like end of one month and the beginning of another. So I'd work a month straight. And then I'd literally, as soon as I'd finish, I'd just like fuck off and go somewhere.
Holy
So I
shit.
ended up I traveled to over 30 countries. I like did a bunch of stuff. Like I'm so fortunate for
Do you go to Dubai a lot? I met
all of that.
flight attendants seem to. There's something about that
I've
Dubai.
never been to Dubai. Isn't
The
that so
apparent-
funny?
Yeah,
I've never
right?
been to Dubai.
Which you would think would be the one to constantly be going.
Yeah,
Probably just because it's the most
Dubai.
touristy.
a bunch.
Yeah.
I've flown through it, but I just
It's like getting off in
not really-
Dubai is like Cancun of the Middle East.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
I'm not.
So it's like,
that's not what I'm about.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
not
yeah.
that there's anything wrong, but for me, like, I don't like to go to Vegas. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't like to go to Dubai. Same
Yeah,
kind
like
of
these
idea.
like zoo. They're like human zoos.
Well, yeah,
You
and
know?
I just like I'm not a shopper. I don't really like money. You know what I mean? Like I don't
I'll have some.
all these like flashy things and whatever. It's just not really my jam. I'm more like, kind of.
Yeah, you don't like money. You fucking smashed my microphone.
Listen, this was expensive. This is some bullshit.
Wow, she's
Wow.
really of the earth.
You know what I mean?
What was your favorite country to be in? Like, I'm gonna go that route if at all possible. Like the country, like I'll go back as often as possible.
You know.
You can't
It's
name
so
one.
hard to pick like a favorite
I
country.
just like them all
Do you know
so
what I mean?
much.
It feels almost racist to do that. I'm just,
Well, no, yeah, no, you
I'm
could be
kidding.
little, like-
no, I love all
If
countries.
you go to Casablanca?
I've
never been. I heard that's
I've
dope.
not been to Casablanca. You know, I would probably say the countries that I did go back to because I enjoyed so much. And I just felt like there was like so much to see and explore. Like there was so much richness in like the culture, and then also like there was like opportunities to do outdoors. I love trekking and doing all that kind of stuff. So that was a lot of the stuff that
Where was
I'd
that?
go for as well. It was Argentina and
Oh,
Vietnam were two
shit.
places I went back to a couple of
Yo,
times.
everyone tells me to go to Vietnam.
Vietnam is I had such a great
I'm
time
going.
there. It was really such an amazing experience. I don't know what it's like now. It's been a few years since I've been.
I imagine it's not different at all.
But
Yeah.
well, I mean, what I
didn't really
mean
have
to say is so the thing about Vietnam when I first went there is because they didn't have a lot of travel and tourism thing going on there for a very long time.
Really?
And so when it started up, it was kind of this like beautiful thing where you'd show up as a tourist, but you were more seen as a guest because they weren't oversaturated with tourism the way that some countries are with
yeah.
all these like backpackers and these like shitty people that just
It's like
go
Japan
there to
right
like
now.
consume and use the country and then leave.
Yeah.
And so and then you can't blame the locals for then
Exploiting that.
exploiting that
Yeah.
and also like
Everyone's doing it.
exactly because
You got to live. These people are going to be here for 4 or 5 days, and you
Exactly.
have kids, and you could sell them a necklace for $1, or you
Yeah.
could sell them a necklace for $5.
Exactly.
You're going to sell them for $5.
And you realize
That's-
how much the value of money is more to you as a local than it is to them because they're just throwing money
we're like,
around.
yeah, exactly. Whoa, it's
You
like
know?
nothing.
So it's but when I
But
first
Argentina
went
is
to Vietnam,
expensive, though,
was-
isn't it? Sorry. Like Vietnam, I know is like that's what they say. It's like hella cheap.
But it's not that it's just hella cheap, but it was just like I said, like there was just like this beautiful culture there that was really just like it was almost untouched. Now I don't know what it's like.
But people till this day, when I travel, when I stay in hostels, and I ask people, what's like sick, what's sick, wherever I go, people always tell me Vietnam. People mention Vietnam everywhere. They're like,
Vietnam is
Vietnam.
so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
I want to go to
and there's
Vietnam
so
so bad.
much to see there. Like everything from like Halong Bay, which is like just spectacular, to like there's this.
They have those mountains that just stick out. They're like little domes that stick out of the water. That's what I want to go
Halong
to.
Bay.
That's that all
It's
the pictures are there.
amazing.
Yeah,
It's
I want
it's-
to be going through those little long stick rafts.
Yeah. It's
Big
so
hat
nice.
guy.
right?
I'm
right.
gonna tip the fuck out of this guy.
Yeah.
I'll take one of these boats, dude.
Yeah. No, it's really lovely. It's really lovely.
And Argentina is where all the Nazis fled.
Oh,
At the end of World War II.
I know, right?
So I'm at,
But
is
they've
Argentina a
mixed
lot
them
of
in
like
and hidden
German, like blue-eyed people in Argentina?
You know what? It's such a mix.
Yeah.
It's such a mix.
Complexion-wise,
Complexion wise, it's such a mix.
it's like Brazil, kind of.
Not as much as Brazil. In fact, when I used to go to Argentina, often they would think I was Brazilian.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, because
Brazilians destroy mics all the time.
that's they just aggressive.
This is a microphone.
I don't
it's a
care about
soccer
your
ball.
shit.
Yeah.
But I used to go with my ex, and my ex when he gets a tan because he's mixed. He kind of looks like Latino Arab kind of thing. But he was lighter skinned than
ambiguous.
me. So they thought that he was Argentinian and I was Brazilian. That's what all would happen. Because in Argentina, there's also like a big range, but it's more like white to like a light brown. Where in Brazil, it's like a light brown to like black. Yeah.
And Brazilians can just be like white.
Too. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
Like
actually, you're right. They could be super white too. Yeah.
But how's Argentina though? I want to go there, but Vietnam, for sure is higher up on the list. Argentina seems like cool and. You know what it was? Argentina, last time I wanted to go, it was Buenos Aires, right?
Buenos Aires,
yeah. Someone was like 2, 3, 4 years ago. I was like, yeah, I want to go there. And someone was like, man, they're fucking killing people on the streets or like they're doing this or that.
Sorry,
this is not the time to go. You know, there's always people who, whenever you want to go, this is not the time to be going to. Oh my God.
Do you know how many times I'd be like, I'm going to Mexico. People are like, you're going to get kidnapped. And I'm like,
you're going to be just a head on a stick.
I probably should have been kidnapped a bunch of times in my life because of the shit that I do. But you're fine.
Yeah, for the most part. You know who gets killed in these places? Someone who's trying to buy Coke and it goes south.
Yeah, or some.
It's not like some guy's like trying to get a churro and he's like, yeah, I'll get extra sugar. Oh, I could get stuff. That's not how those deaths happen. It's a guy trying to find a prostitute and fights the pimp, or some guy trying to buy a bunch of Coke and he has the cash.
Or some
and then
idiot
it's a scuffle.
that just walks down the street in the middle of the night with a gold necklace. You know what I mean? And
or
just,
some
like,
guy who's drunk and fights in a local. Like, these are the things. No one is just stabbing and killing.
Nobody's stabbing.
The police, the local. That's what people don't understand, especially in Mexico.
But
people think it's so. Around the resorts, it's the level of policing is crazy. They do not want deaths that are resort related. Mexico relies on the tourism that comes in. They can't have white people dying at the resort. It is policed up the ass, you know? It's like the outside of resorts. That's like the boonies where the cartels can fight cartels. That's where death and shit is happening.
That's where I nearly died.
Where the cartels fight the cartels?
I'm really I'm as much as I'm like a world traveler. You know what I mean? And you'd think I know how to survive out there. I also just rely on the fact that I have like this guardian angel looking out for me, because honestly, I should have been dead so many times. But the last time I went to Mexico, it was a really like on a whim, last minute I decided. The night before. I want
to buy a bunch of cocaine.
You know what I mean? I'm like, and it seems like it's cheaper to buy it there.
It's just a better unit price.
The plane ticket, it's like they're giving it away. I went down to Mexico like last minute. I decided I just need to get the fuck away, and like it was like 2 days before I decided.
Yeah.
And I just flew down there on a whim, last minute. I like 2 days before I was like, maybe I should do this, and then the night before I was like, I'm doing this, and then I booked my ticket, and then I flew out the next morning.
Cash, or you still have hookups?
No. This was when I had my passes.
Okay.
But I wasn't sure if I was going to get on the flight, because when you have passes as a flight attendant, you're on standby, right?
So if someone doesn't show up, you get on pretty much, right?
Yeah, or if there's just empty seats already.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Because like not all flights are necessarily sold out, right?
Gotcha.
But because it's never a guarantee, you know, like...
you got books with you.
You know what I mean? So then I flew down there, and then on my way there... So I'd been down there a couple of times. I don't like to stay in the Cancun area. I like to go more
just because it's too resorty for you?
Yeah, it's too resorty for me a little bit. You know, not that there's, like I said, nothing wrong with some people wanting to do that, but I just wanted a little peace and quiet near the beach, do my own thing. And so I jumped into a van that takes you about an hour and a half to Playa del Carmen, and then from there on the actual van there was Wi-Fi. So once I landed in Cancun, I got into the van, and he's like, where do you want to go? And I was like, Playa del Carmen. And he's like, what's your place you're staying? And I'm like, I don't know yet, but I'll let you know. And so then I booked my place that I was staying on my way there. Fast forward to, I'm staying at this like lovely Airbnb that I found for like $25, and it's like a 3-minute walk to the beach, and I'm just living my best life.
It's called El Machete Inn.
Almost, right? Yeah. And then the third day I'm there, I went out swimming all day, just at the beach in the sun, having a great time. Get back to my place, and I pass out. It's the middle of the afternoon. I'm so tired. It's like 5 p.m. I pass out. And I was only going to take a nap, but I woke up at like 10 p.m. and I'm like, okay, fuck. Now all the stuff, because I'm in a local area, is closed up, and I got to get some food. So I'm going to have to walk into the tourist area, which is like a 20-minute walk. It's fine. So I walk into the tourist area. I get some food. Okay. I get some food, and then I'm by myself. I get some food, and now I'm in the tourist area, but I'm wide awake because I just slept 5 hours by accident, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I going to go back to the Airbnb and like stick my thumb in my ass and just like stay awake until 2 a.m. for what? You know, which is this.
Yeah, it's like which I do any other night. I just didn't think I'd sleep soon.
Mexico,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, then there's like this like dope ass music playing on the streets, and so there's all these clubs and things, and I'm like, okay, fuck it, I kind of want to go out dancing and see what's up. So I go to this club, and then I order myself a drink. Then I see this dude. He's just like standing at a table, but he's like shuffling his feet proper, and it's obvious.
That's El Shufflo.
El Shufflo was there, and he was shuffling around. So I go walk up to him like the G that I am, and I'm like, "Excuse me," and he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Are you alone?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, do you want to dance? And he's like,
you've shuffled your
I'm
way
like, I have a boyfriend, just so you know. And I didn't, but I was just like, I'm not trying nothing here, right?
Yeah,
like, I have a boyfriend, but if you want to dance, I'm alone too. And he's like, yeah, I'm down, because I could tell he could dance.
Yeah.
And I love to dance. So we started dancing. We ended up going to like 4 different clubs, had the best time. Then afterwards, we got some late night food. And this guy like knew not to hit on me because I told him I had a boyfriend. We were super chill. And then when I go to leave, he's like, can I hail down a cab for you? I was like, oh, no, don't stress. I'm going to walk. And he's like, oh, you're close by. And I was like, no, I'm like, just like a 20-minute walk this way. And he's like, oh, where are you staying? And I was like, oh, at like Avenida de blah, blah, blah. I don't remember where it was. And he's like, oh, in El Colosio. And I was like, oh, yeah, I think that's what the area was called, Colosio. And he's like, you're staying in Colosio and you want to walk by yourself, looking like this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Dude, I've been walking back and forth here by myself since I got here. I'm super fine. Like, everything's fine. He's like, that is the most dangerous area in this entire region. This is where the cartel lives. And you're telling me that you've been walking around by yourself this whole time? And he's like, you are so lucky to be surviving. And I'm like, dude, you're making a big deal. He's like, no. Right. He grabs my arm, takes me to like the bouncer that's standing at the club next door. And he's like, Señor, he's like talk to her, tell her quieres caminando, like solo, like he's like telling her, and then he turns to me, he's like, no señora, es muy peligroso. He's like, don't do it, it's super dangerous, like do not do that to yourself,
like walk
he's
there,
like, please don't walk. He's like, you don't even know what could happen. He's like, the least
the cartel,
of your worries is getting robbed.
They kill for fun,
you know, right? And I was like,
they just killed my son.
Okay, this isn't some like scared white people in Toronto being like, you can get kidnapped in Mexico. This is like locals being like, are you crazy?
Pleading with you.
Do not walk. And I'm like,
what's the place called again?
El Colosio.
El Colosio?
El Colosio. It actually sounds
you're
kind
like,
of dangerous now that I think about
They're
it.
like, no. He's shuffling. Shuffle back to my place.
Aliya,
you are my love. Aliya, shuffle with me into the night.
I should not have told you that whole story. I could have just cut to the ending, which was the whole point. Yeah. But I told the whole story, and now I got this.
If the cartels want to shoot at you, I will shuffle them back.
I will shuffle them away.
You must dance through me. So you just end up taking a cab, or he drop you off or something like that?
No, I jumped in a cab.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was like $7. It was so close.
Yeah, right?
But I wanted to walk. It was a nice night, but I guess that was
you can't. The cartel is the law, you know?
Yeah. But
so
I had been walking there for days.
Yeah.
And the thing is the last time I was in Mexico, I stayed in that same area. I went swimming at night by myself in the ocean. So what I do is sometimes I like to go swimming at night in the ocean. And so I'll go to like
everyone
like
I know and care about hates it.
Right?
Everyone who loves me just hates that fact.
Just hates that I like to go. Yeah, they're all like,
leave my cell phone at the house. You know?
Literally. So I leave all my stuff.
Yeah.
And I go in just what I'm like wearing, you know, with my swimsuit and then like some clothes. And I take no money, no nothing. And then I'll go to like a local bar or some place that's close by. And I'll give them my hotel key and be like, just talk to the bartender and be like, hey, do you want to hang on to my stuff? I'm just going for a swim just in case my things get thieved. I have a way to go back to my hotel.
Yeah.
And so then I'll just like drop off my stuff with a local bar.
He takes them and he presses a little button that says Al Cartel button. They just immediately are notified. Yes, I will hold them for you.
She'll be in the area shortly. You can get her, boys.
Yeah. The shufflers around the corner like, you're not going to do Aliya like that.
He's always just,
Aliya,
he's actually outside right now. The shufflers followed me
He's
since.
Shuffling.
He's just my bodyguard now. He's my personal bodyguard. So don't try and kidnap me in your basement.
This is not even the same trip of Mexico.
Don't try and do it. Okay, El Shoflo will come for you. And he'll break your second mic. That's just.
So you went out there swimming. Why? What is that? Is it just like a thrill?
I just like to swim and like float in the ocean and look up at the stars. It's like there's just I don't know.
Actually, I did that when I was in Dominican Republic like 8 years ago.
It's the bestest. It's the like honestly, I don't even know more happiness than that. It's
what I want to know is you were a flight attendant for 10 years post 9/11. I'm assuming, or is it was 9/11 in the middle of it?
No, post
9/11. Do you have any terrorist?
This guy thinks I'm like 50.
I don't know. Do you have? You could be a really young flight. I've met like early 20s flight attendants. I've never had to ground
just
your
really
flight.
bad at math and got called out. Whatever.
Hey, I have an engineering degree. Okay, so I have a degree that says that I know how to cheat.
I'm pretty sure you guys have calculators.
TI-85. Have you flights ever been grounded because of terror suspicion?
Only when I'm on the plane.
Yeah, right. We got a bomb on the plane.
They're like, what? How did this Muslim girl get a flight attendant? Yeah, no, not because of that, but I've had so many other reasons we've been grounded, y'all. So many.
What's the most annoying one? Is it like
weather? Because people are like, so do you think this thunderstorm's gonna clear up soon? I'm like, I don't know, but I'll, make a call. Like, what do you?
Let me go check with the captain. Just a sec. No, he says he's gonna keep flying. Yeah. He's gonna keep flying.
People.
But that's not annoying though. Like if it's crazy turbulence, you want to get grounded. You're like, oh, thank God we're getting out of
I
there.
mean, like when you're stuck in an airplane full of people because there's bad weather and you can't take off.
Oh, is that what grounded means? Maybe I use it incorrect. I meant you are in the air and you have to do an emergency landing because of a situation on the flight.
Right. So that's when you have an emergency
That's
landing.
when people are sick as fuck. Yeah,
that's what we call it.
Well, thanks for coming to the show, all right? Break my mic, now you're going in on me, all right? It's not actually called that.
Trying to help you.
Emergency landing.
Yeah, I've had to make a couple of emergency landings, yeah.
Non-health related ones. I imagine if someone's like, oh, he's having a heart attack, you got to go down.
Yeah, so I've had that too. Yeah.
What about the non-illness ones? Like someone fighting?
No, never anybody fighting. Not on mine because.
But you guys talk though.
People know not to fuck around on my planes.
Woo!
Yeah, but
she's loaded.
I
imagine it's all
ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Now behave yourself. Like
I imagine it's all flight attendants in that little kitchenette. Just having banter with
galley.
one another.
We call it the galley.
The galley, yeah. One of them has just got her face right next to the other's ass, like someone's got a bomb on the plane. They're like, ah! He's like literally just all that back and forth.
Yeah, that's
literally that's what I was thinking. We got a bomb on the plane.
Do you also think that girls, when we have like hangouts and sleepovers, we have pillow fights? Like, what do you think happens?
The movies I watch,
this is so.
Next
to the other flight.
Emergency landing. Emergency landing. 2. She had to land on something she didn't want to land on.
Oh no. Actually, do you know one thing that we do? Well, I fuck with the other flight attendants when they're making their announcements.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the galley with another flight attendant, sometimes I'll like close the curtains and just start fucking with them and try to make them laugh.
Oh yeah, okay.
I was working with this one flight attendant once and I just started unbuttoning her shirt. She's like, what are you like?
That's not that far from the ass joke I made.
I know, right?
You're like,
I know.
That's what you think is that. But then another time I was
doesn't
unbuttoning his shirt and she just could not laugh. It's the same level of shit.
Just doing like sexy dances and shit, trying to fuck with each other. All kinds of things.
I remember when I used to work fast food. You know how fast food people, like they all have that headset?
Yeah.
KFC, Taco Bell, and the person working drive-thru goes, yeah, KFC, Taco Bell, how can I take your order? Yeah. Everybody has the headset, so when they hear an order, they can get a head start on it. But we have a button we can click where only between us we can hear. Mm-hmm. So anytime someone was taking a call from like a customer outside, we'd click the button only we can hear and do the exact same thing. Just try to make. I'd literally hold it and be like meow 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 meow, and they'd be like, sir, they're literally just laughing.
That's super.
The same fuck around.
Have you ever done that though and accidentally fucked up and then they can hear you?
The manager would always be like, remember, you're one button away from getting fired.
One button away. That's too funny.
So wait, emergency landings.
Emergency landings.
Non-health related.
So once I had this was one where I saved the day, guys. No big deal, but
were you sitting next to the emergency exit?
Yeah, almost.
And were willing and able to help?
Right. I've never had to open one of those except for in training. They're such a pain in the ass. But no, I was sitting next to I was the in charge on the flight.
So that's like the head flight attendant?
Yeah. And so I was sitting up front and my interphone Well, I didn't know this at the time, but I was sitting in my jump seat. I was like, "What is this? Like this? There's like a bit of like a smell,
An odor, yeah.
but it was like not quite. It wasn't smoke, but it smelled like something was burning.
Like
It
electrical.
smelled like this electrical
Yeah.
kind of weird kind of smell.
Like short circuit.
And we're just about to take off, but we're still like on the taxiway at this point. So I call up the captain and I was like, "Hey, there's this bit of this weird smell." He's like, "Oh, we have a massive jet in front of us. It's probably just the fumes from there." I was like, "Okay, makes sense, right?" Because it was like a fumey smell.
Yeah, okay.
And so then we took off, but then as we're taking off, the smell's getting a bit stronger. I'm like, that doesn't make sense because now the jet's no longer in front of us, and the smell should have subsided because the air is constantly being, there's like a airflow.
Filtration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then as soon as we get to like a safe altitude and I can call the captain again, I call him and I'm like, "Hey, listen, that smell's actually getting a little bit stronger. But at this point, like I'm not sure that I'm trusting my smell anymore because, when you get used to a smell." So I said, "As soon as you feel like it's safe, I'll get the other flight attendant to come up here." And so he's like, "Okay." So he released the flight attendant to come up. So he came up and he's like, "Yeah, I smell something off too." And so the captain goes, "I don't know what we should do. Everything looks good on our end, Aliya. So if you don't see any smoke or anything, like really, I'll let you make the call." And I'm like, "What?" And so I was like, "Fine. I think that we should go and figure out what the smell is." So we.
So wait. He said, "I'll let you make the call."
Yeah.
So like you get to make the call whether what we
make the emergency landing.
Okay, so it's like a liability thing. So it's like, why wouldn't the captain be like, "It's your call"? Well,
because he was basically saying because he couldn't smell it.
I don't
right?
smell it, but it's
smell it. So if I think that it's something that's pungent enough that it seems suspicious,
yes,
he was
then it merits that. Yeah,
yeah, because I'm his eyes and ears back there, right?
Okay.
So I was like, "Yeah, I think we should land, right?" So then we land back in Boston. And so now we have to get everybody off the airplane. And then we get
thank God this thing's only got one wing.
You know what I mean, right?
Thank God you smelt the wingless odor.
And then that's the thing though, right? Because then now the fire people trucks show up and they're checking, they're investigating. And now at this point, now I'm like praying that something is fucked up. Because otherwise I'm like, I'm going to look a fool. And it was nothing. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, "Well, great, Aliya, you just cost the company $100,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, right? The amount, because it costs money when you have an emergency landing, right? So I was like,
they find it?
Hoping and praying. And so then they're checking everywhere.
Yeah.
Nothing. Nowhere. And then they put the heat sensors next to the interphone, right? Which is the phone that I use for PAs and stuff. And then their heat panels start showing up a little bit, like in different colors on the heat.
Yeah, like
sensors.
a heat like so then signature.
Right. A what?
Like a signature. It shows them the heat signature. Like it's hot back there.
Yes. Is that what they call it?
Like a heat signature.
I think he's making
like
this
an
up.
infrared signature.
He's calling emergency landings grounded. This guy's doing bad.
We got a bomb on the plane.
We don't know what's happening over here. But then they unscrewed everything to see what the heat was coming from. As they opened it up, the whole interphone was melting in the back.
Oh fuck,
dude! They had a similar case, like something like that happen many years ago on Swiss Air. The fucking airplane crashed because they had a massive fire that was started through an electrical issue, just like that one. So I saved the motherfucking day.
Were they like, "Oh my God, look at this
motherfucking yeah"?
Did they like say what? You can't say the airline. Let's say it was Air Canada. Air Canada would like to formally thank Aliya Kanani for her efforts and her vigilance on the flight 41812. We thank you. Yeah, that's who you
didn't even get shit.
Wow.
Didn't get shit.
It was literally like that.
I'm loving this game. I'm like out here saving lives and things. You know what I'm
There's
saying?
a suit guy's
I'm
like
a hero, but you know what? I don't need.
There's a lawyer there with a briefcase. They better fight something, Miss Kanani.
I know.
This is coming. We're docking this out of your pay. What?
You're gonna have to work for us for the next 500 years.
$932,000.
Don't you dare die on us, because we got you, girl.
You said that you said there's a safe altitude where you can talk to the pilot. So there's a range where when you're taking off to a point, you can't talk to the pilot.
Yeah. It's just I won't tell you what we call it and all this stuff because I'm not supposed to.
So someone does a 9/11 through the podcast. Hey, don't 9/11 again. All right, if you're watching or listening, honestly, no 9/11 again.
Isn't that so funny? I've always found that so funny that they give all of the recipes of how to 9/11 people in the movies we watch.
And they're all new stuff.
All the information is out there on how to rob and steal and hijack and do all this stuff. Not because employees
because you get the term on here's a range of altitudes.
It's like they make movies and they do all the research so that they learn all. And I'm like watching this and I'm like,
Inside Man.
Why are you telling people how to do this? Like, why are you giving them all the information? But you can find anything, I guess, on the internet now. If you just YouTube how to hijack an airplane, I'm sure you'll find it.
Imagine
don't
they come arrest
please.
you right away.
Don't hijack airplanes,
don't
guys.
Google that.
Don't do it.
Yeah, not even incognito.
Yeah.
They'll flag down. They'll flag down. What's it like working with pilots? Is there like a culture of like the pilots hang out together, the flight attendants hang out together, or is it kind of like an executive suite of a company versus like the administrative people, or is it actually pretty like fluid? Like in my head, pilots are all these like old white dudes that are like, now they're letting a lot of non-us pilots, and that's the times. But you damn right, when we're on this bus, you're flying safe. If that's or else my name's not Captain Roger Mimson or something like that. Roger something. Yeah. Roger Stevenson.
Yeah, no, there's
Captain Stevenson's on board.
Definitely a lot of Captain Stevensons for sure. There's a lot of old white dudes, pilots, but. To answer your question, it depends again on the airline. It depends on the pilots. It depends on the flight attendant. Me, I'm a very social person.
Yeah.
So I talk to everybody. Do you know what I mean? But like everybody at the airport used to know me, like because I would talk to everyone from like you
build reports with everyone. Yeah.
To the catering people, to the pilots, to the everybody. I just talk to everybody. So like
you joking with everybody is what you.
Yeah. I joke around with everybody.
Yeah.
I just
you have a little relationship with everybody because you go joke with them.
Yeah.
I had the same thing in my corporate life. Did you ever come by like? So I used to do engineering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have an engineering degree. I did engineering for a while. I worked for like some companies. Right. So the same type of vibe. And that's what I was gonna ask you. How did you do 10 years of that and then be like, okay, stand up? Were you watching stand up the whole time? Did you love how did that happen?
No, I accidentally got into this.
Yeah,
super by
They're
accident.
like, we're doing an emergency landing at
Yuck.
Yeah. Yuck, Toronto, 8 p.m. We're doing an emergency landing 8 and 10 o'clock tonight.
One day I just grabbed the PAs in the middle making announcements and I'm like, so here's the thing about airplane food.
Oh, I bet it's so easy to kill on an airplane. No pun intended. Don't 9/11.
No, don't do it.
Don't.
How did this turn into this podcast?
That's the name of this episode. Don't 9/11. Don't 9/11. But yeah, how'd that happen?
So oh god, this is quite the story.
Get into it.
We gonna get into it. Okay, what? Okay. I guess I am here to talk. All right. So my cousin got married.
Yeah.
Okay. And he was getting married. My cousin's like one of my best friends. And he was like, Aliya, he's like, can I ask you for a favor? He's like, we have so many people doing speeches and stuff. And when I was a kid, I used to always be just a very creative kid. Like I'd love to like do
sing
all kinds
and
of
dance and
literally all of it. I can't sing for
break
shit,
mics.
but like dance. Yeah.
Dad, we can go to a microphone store.
All the time. It's my favorite thing to do is go and break other people's shit. But I go to my cousin's place where they'd come over. I would like force my cousins and my sisters to do like little plays and stuff.
Yeah.
And we put it on for the family. Like, all brown people and black people, we all the kids are always the entertainment. They're like, oh, sing and dance, do something. And you're like, why? But I would love it. So I would like always like organize everybody and be like, okay, we're going to put on a show.
The entertainment for us would have been like, you come here and lead the prayer. Read what you've memorized of your Quran. Read Surah. Abbas, come here. Read Surah of this. And I would just sit there and some older guy would be like, Tabbat yadu. And like he'd hear the one part and right away interject. So I wasn't singing and dancing, but definitely entertaining on some level.
Oh, that's so sad. I'm just imagining.
Let's brush by that.
Just like,
one tear just dropped out of my eyes. But I don't want to say another prayer.
I
almost 9/11.
Oh no! Don't 9/11.
Don't 9/11.
We talked about this. Oh my god, I'm coughing. COVID. I'm sorry. I should have coughed in that direction. Oh, it's so bad, eh?
Cough right at the mic. I got to replace it.
I've been talking about this on stage. I was talking about coughing. It was like coughing in public.
It's so weird now. I feel like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like I excuse myself out of a situation. It's not anything. I immediately leave as soon as the coughing starts.
I just yell out different excuses. I'm like, allergies. I smoked weed. I smoked cigarettes.
I'm high on heroin right now.
The dust.
I'm high on heroin right now.
anything.
Yeah, right?
You know?
I've never been loved, please.
Sorry, it's cancer of the throat.
Huh?
Like just, yeah, so...
So you got you were
cousin's wedding.
entertaining from a young age?
I was entertaining for a young age. So my cousin goes to me, he goes, instead
speech.
of doing a speech, because everybody's going to be doing speeches, and it's going to be so many speeches, I was at this wedding once, and I saw that they put on a little skit kind of thing, and it was so cool and so fun. He's like, would you be down to like organize something like that? And I was like, yeah, of course, I'll do anything you want me to do, right, for your wedding. And he's like, would you get the whole wedding party involved? And I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, except for, some of them live in Tanzania, some of them live in Canada, some of them live in the US. Some of them
Are you
live in the UK.
Tanzanian, by the way?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
I just remembered. But yeah, sorry, keep going. We'll come back.
We'll come back to that.
Okay. We'll circle back.
We'll circle back.
Don't 9/11.
So people are all scattered all over the place, and I'm like, sure. So I was like, okay, great. And I was working as a flight attendant at this time.
Okay.
So now I'm writing the script, and what I don't know what I'm doing. I've never taken it. I've never done anything like this before. I'm just like making it up as I go along. I didn't realize what I was doing was I was like workshopping my material, because every day I was like writing on the airplanes. Then I'd go to the flight attendants and the pilots. They were having so much fun because I'd like read to them what I'd written, and if they laughed, I'd keep it. If they didn't laugh, I'd change it because I was trying to make it funny. Yeah. And so I was like workshopping off them without even realizing it, right? So then I finished writing this thing. I have no idea how long it is, right? Because I'm just writing something that I think is funny. It turns out it was 20 minutes long.
Holy
it's supposed
shit.
to be like 5-10 minutes. I wrote a 20-minute long play. And so then I was like, I did it. And then afterwards I was like, man, how am I going to get everybody to practice? We're going to get there to Dallas for the wedding. Days before, there's ceremonies every motherfucking day. Nobody's going to have time to rehearse. And they're going to fuck up my good writing. So then I'm talking to my other cousin, who's a sound engineer / DJ. And I was like, yo, cuz, I was like, tell me something. I was like, you know how people like do karaoke and like lip sync? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, could they do that for like just like words? And he's like, yeah, I don't see why not. I'm like, yeah, but like, could I make like a track like that? And he's like, I was like, how would I do that? And so he's like, well, just get everybody to record it, then we go to my studio, then we cut it together. And I was like, sick. So then I recorded myself doing the entire thing so people would have like tone. Basically, I was directing, sent out the scripts and the recordings to everyone and said, just do this, record it in your voice, send it back to me. Then I went to the studio with him. Now we started mixing it together. Then I'm like, yo, can we add sound effects? He's like, yeah. I'm like, shit, this is dope. So I did all this, made a whole production. I had dry ice to make like a potion.
Actually?
I had so many things going on in this play. It was amazing. They loved it. Everybody was like laughing and it was so great. And then at the end, my cousin hated it.
Because it stole the show?
We stopped talking for months.
Hated it?
Hated it because I made fun of him so much.
Oh.
And I was like, why? And he's like, it's one thing if you're making, because we made fun of, that's our jam. We make fun of each other all the time.
That's what you do.
We call each other frenemy. You know what I mean? Like, we make fun of each other all the time. That was our thing. But because I guess, like, it was just so much pressure from the wedding, and he had like 500 people there, including his boss, and he just felt too embarrassed, like, from it. And it was just, it was not a good, so then I was like, fuck it. So I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna even participate in the wedding again. But then after doing all that writing, now I'm back on airplanes and I've got this itch for creativity that I've just unleashed, because I'm like, man, that was so fun when I had something to do. And now I'm just like sitting here and just like listening to flight attendants complain about things and like fucking have nothing to do. And I don't read magazines and shit. I'm like, what am I saying? So then I saw this, and then I got this, it was a Groupon. Long story short, so I got a Groupon. Because I loved Groupons back then.
Oh, Groupon was
all
the
about
hype.
the Groupon life.
Groupon was life back
It was
then.
life.
Yeah,
it was life. Especially, oh my God. Do you know how much Tanzanians love a discount? Oh my God.
Anybody.
I'll take shit I don't
Insert
even like.
any ethnicity.
Because it's, I
Insert
know.
any ethnicity.
I promise
right?
you, right?
Insert any
I promise
ethnicity.
you.
You know, Irish. Like,
again, any browns and blacks. You know what I mean? Like, we're just all about that discount. In fact,
so there was like a Groupon like class course or something, or a comedy
Second
course?
City.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, let me just do this for fun. So I signed up for their improv and writing just for fun.
Yeah, I did
as
their
like a
improv
little
stuff.
whatever.
Yeah.
But then as the class was coming to an end, I was like, well, I don't want to stop. So I signed up for another and another and another. And even though I was always traveling and missing classes, when I was in town, I kept it up, right? And next thing you know, I finished the programs.
You do the conservatorium or whatever it's called?
I did the conservatory. I did their fellowship.
That's like the level after?
The fellowship you get invited to if you're like really good.
Yeah. For those who only listening, she's running her hand through her hair right now. She's having a moment.
I'm flicking my curls.
She literally glistened at some point. I don't know how she pulled that off.
I have a button.
Ding.
I have a button. But yeah, no. So I did their program, and then I was like, now what? And then because people were like, you know what?
And like
what's
now, like a
next?
year plus has passed since the wedding, right?
Yeah, totally. And then I was just like, and people were like, so what are you gonna do next? I'm like, nothing. I was just doing this for fun. They're like, yeah, but you should be doing something. And I was like, oh, okay. But I didn't really want to think of it as a career. Because it just felt too intimidating,
Okay, yeah.
you know? And then the minute that I started to think of it as a career, oh my God, I hit the heaviest writer's block.
Yeah.
Heaviest, because now all of a sudden there were stakes.
Now
and
it's
I was like,
yeah.
I'm not funny, actually. I'm just funny for fun. I'm not funny for actual stuff. You know?
Yeah. It's like, what am I?
And then I was doing sketch comedy and all of this stuff, and I fell in love with sketch. But then one day I was just so tempted to try this stand-up thing, and so I tried. I went to an open mic, and it was the funnest thing. And
So your first open mic experience was good
it was dope.
because you had already done like so much improv.
I was comfortable, you know. And even honestly, even before I did improv and writing, I was comfortable because
You were in front of like
was in front of
the
people all the
crew,
time.
the plane for 10 years.
I was on a PA making announcements, dealing with all kinds of personalities and feeling the energy in the room and controlling the energy in a room. You know what I mean? Or in a vessel. Like there's no more control. Like honestly, like it was so sometimes I would like have moments where I'm like, oh, I got into comedy late, but I'm like, all of my life led me to here. All of the practice I had in all my life led me to here. When I first started, people were like, wow, your stage presence. And I was like, y'all don't even know where I came from. You know what I mean? I didn't actually just wake up magically with stage presence. I've been doing it in different forms. You know what I mean? I've had practice in different forms of life.
Yeah, you got your 10,000 hours to other things, you know?
Through other things, you know? And I've been funny my whole life. You know what I mean? So like, I had training in other ways that I didn't even know.
You didn't until you were on there with the mic in your hand, it was on you.
Right.
All the cumulative like hours you put in came behind. Did you hear that?
I did.
What was it?
I don't know. I figured it was maybe a dead body you were hiding in there that fell through or something, somebody that was.
Did one of you 9/11?
Tied up and.
This didn't even come out yet. That doesn't even make sense. Hey. No, but like that for me. I've been like this class clown. Like grade 8, they chose me as the MC for grade 8 graduation.
This is what I'm
because I'm like that kid already.
But that's
so
great.
great. And I remember writing.
Comedians are funny their whole life.
I wrote like a speech. I had jokes in it. They're laughing. Grade 8. I never connected the dots. I get an engineering degree because I'm playing it how I'm doctor engineer. So I did engineer. And then in school, I'm like the comedy guy throughout all my schooling. And then when I get to the actual corporate world, I'm an engineer. I'm a program manager, so I'm always overseeing cross-functional groups. So I always, every week, I have a bunch of open issue meetings that I manage. Right. I have all these meetings where I'm always the host.
Right.
I'm always being like, all right, exactly.
Leading,
so what's the update with that thing? Okay, you said that last time. Don't fuck around. Ha ha ha. Okay, you like this?
Yeah.
For years, for every week, that's all I did. Like I'm doing that exact same thing all the time.
Yeah,
and
you're
then
performing, you're presenting, you're navigating energy in the room. You're all of those
you don't realize it
skills
till the
are
mic is in your hand,
right?
But my first set was fucking. I was so.
I heard. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
No, my first set was death.
Really?
Yeah, worst case scenario.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you haven't.
I didn't sleep well for days. What?
Yeah.
You're like, what happened after? Yeah. So you never got better?
Why'd you keep going? You're not still doing this, are you?
Yeah.
Just
no, I am actually. I actually am. Yeah, I love this.
Wow. So I guess your skills were not transferable.
Yeah.
Oops.
This is actually my life calling. So yeah, I am doing this.
So what happened? Why was it so shit? Tell me your story.
It was a 5-minute set. I wrote 6 jokes and I budgeted for laughter.
Oh.
I was like 5 minutes, they'll laugh for 2 minutes, so I just need to write 3 minutes of stuff.
Okay. So you did your 3 minutes and then you probably did it in 2 minutes because you were nervous.
I did it in 2 minutes. Every joke was connected to the next joke, and the first one bombed, and then I fell apart because I realized they were all dependent on that first one.
Wow.
And then the sweat starts coming.
Oh no.
It's 1 a.m. on a Monday night in Detroit, and I'm like, because that's where I like lived for like the first 2 years after engineering. I moved to the States.
Okay.
So I lived in Detroit for 2 years and like San Francisco for like a year. Outside Detroit. I say Detroit, but all the comedy stuff I was doing was in Detroit.
That's cool.
1 a.m. Monday, like no one there, and it's literally I just walked off stage at the end. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Every joke I said bomb, and then at the end I wasn't even like, all right, that's it, or thank you for this, or bring it up for. I was just like, and
I gotta go.
Yeah, I literally just walked off. Oh, it was.
Oh, that's so sad.
It was hell. Yeah, it was hell.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Cut to your freaking first open mic. You get
Smashed.
fucking lifted out there, standing
got
on her first
three
open
applause
mic.
breaks.
Yeah.
Like it was insane.
Someone cried and gave
you know
me a
what I
hug.
mean? Right? I got signed. I was like,
So, do you like stand up way more than improv?
I never really was very into improv, and only because I'm not very good at it. Like I'm okay at improv.
Yeah.
I'm just not great at it because well, there are a few reasons. One of the biggest reasons was the hesitation. I would always be like, should I jump in now?
Yeah,
Should
okay.
I do this? Because
Like
do I interrupt
reluctance,
the
yeah.
scene? I was always, and then you'd miss the moments, right? Like I think of something funny, but I wouldn't want to interrupt the scene because like maybe they're going somewhere with it. It was just too fucking polite.
See,
you know?
yeah. I liked improv too.
Yeah.
And when it got fun, it was the funnest thing ever.
Right.
But all of the processes built around it, number one, and number two, the reason I gravitate towards stand-up to begin with is I like having it all come down to me.
Yeah.
I like being the show. I like the one person with the mic. I
Right.
like that in stand-up. I can only blame it on myself. I hate being in
yeah.
improv on the side and being like, okay, you should have said, okay, when am I coming in? Oh,
Yeah.
why do you go that way? Oh, why do you go that way? Damn. Like, I don't like all that stuff.
Right.
I just want to get up there and bomb or do well and get off and be
Right.
like, what the fuck just happened? You know?
Right. Fair. Yeah. No, and I feel, and I like that. I think that there's really something beautiful to that. Like with stand up is that like you really, you're fully accountable. You know what I mean? There's some people will be like that audience, but really at the end
For
of
the
the
most
day,
part, it's your act. Yeah.
it's you, right?
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
hold yourself accountable and be very honest with yourself,
Yeah,
which I
you
think
have
is a pretty dope aspect of stand up. But for me, it was also like because I love sketch comedy.
Yeah,
Love sketch
I did
comedy.
for years.
I just like writing. I like refining. I like making things better. I like working on something.
Did you ever write for a show?
No, I've not yet.
Is there something? Yeah, you want to put it out there into the universe? No, don't 9/11. Hey, is this some kid right there with a plane and building toys hitting it? No,
I should write.
no 9/11.
I should just write a terrorist comedy.
Where it's a kid who's got a little toy plane and toy buildings and he's hitting them, and you're like, no 9/11, no, and he's like, ISIS.
The kid's called ISIS.
Yeah, ISIS.
Little
Yeah,
ISIS
it's Elon Musk's
does
second
it
child.
again.
Yeah, ISIS Omega
Strikes
7.
again.
ISIS Omega 7, you get to your room and code right now. Or no Teslas for you. Dad, it's all about solar. Do you hear about Tesla Musk's
behave
kid?
like your brother?
Yeah, like
Code red.
Deltron 11 fucking gamma Batman symbol. You know, like fucking stupid. Did you hear about
No, I didn't. You were just asking me that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Elon Musk had a kid and he named the kid like a series of symbols and stuff.
Oh, right. I think I
Yeah.
did hear something about
Yeah.
this. I think
It's
I
like
did hear about
Omega
something. I don't know.
Lambda
I hear
1.
Elon Musk's name and I'm like, don't give a fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's almost like reading. It's almost like fiction. He's like real life fiction. He's like fiction of nonfiction. It's like Elon Musk is almost like Stark. What's his name? In Iron Man.
oh yeah.
Tony Stark.
Right.
Tony Stark buys this. You're like, okay, whatever, Marvel. Fuck off. This is real life.
You know what I mean? I just feel like all of this stuff is just so much show. I just don't care.
I think
just
he's gonna be a
don't
villain
have the
eventually.
brain capacity to care about all of this stuff that they keep trying to shove in our brains. You know, like I'm just like over it.
So you don't fuck with the news, I'm assuming. I don't watch the news. I just get depressed and I turn it off.
Yeah. I don't.
I'm like,
either.
I'm not gonna turn it on.
I'll pay attention through people.
Yo, exactly. You figure out what things. You know what I mean?
I know what's happening in the world.
Exactly.
But I don't. Yeah, I just absorb it. You know, in different ways.
Especially what's awesome is as comedians, if you're around a show, there's
gotta
always
hear it.
comics, the topical comics who bring up what's happening. So you get informed through that.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh, I didn't know that. And then you ask this person, they tell you.
Yeah.
You don't have to, you just filter out all of the negativity and just let these people
Yeah.
let you in on the knowledge, you know?
Totally. But yeah, so anyway, so so yeah, I don't really I don't know.
So it was just after that first open mic, the rest is history?
Yeah, basically. Like I think that the one thing. Sorry, I was still thinking about Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, that's
I
hilarious.
was like, I still don't.
No, I was saying he's gonna be a villain.
I heard about his kid, but I don't know. You know,
he's gonna be a villain.
He's probably gonna be a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. For I just got into stand up, and really, for me, the biggest appeal for stand-up was that I don't have to rely on anybody. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I loved writing sketch. I love doing sketch, and I think that exploring characters and working with other people, I really do believe in the power of the collective. Like I think that more brains are better always. I think that there are skills other people have to offer that I can learn from, and I really do like writing and working with people. But I also know that I work a lot harder than most people.
Yeah,
and I have no tolerance for people who commit and then don't follow through. And I was starting to get to the point where I was just like, I don't have the money to pay for people so that I can hold them accountable,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
I can't
exactly.
be like, I'm paying you to do this job, and if you're not doing it properly, then we'll move on and get somebody who is doing the job properly, right? So when people are doing things
like artists, that's the problem.
Artists that are doing things for free out of passion at the beginning stages, you know, as beautiful as it is, it's also very slow because it's not their priority.
Yes.
And then this person doesn't show up, or this person doesn't know their lines,
and
or
you
this
can't really like
and it's
hit them up on the phone. Where are you?
You know what I mean? Because
like,
we're supposed to be all doing this for fun, but I'm like, no, I'm also wanting to advance in this.
Yeah, and artists will like they'll use vibes. They'll use vibes as like a driving force you'll never see in corporate. Yeah, I just I'm just not in it right now. I'm just not to. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not hating on that, but I'm saying I'm in the same boat.
Yeah,
in that. There's a lot of projects I've wanted to do where they would have depended on me lining up my schedule with other people, and I did. I don't know if I was making comedy videos with my friend Max Sheldrick for Plus Time Comedy,
right,
for over a year,
right,
and that's one person. That's one other person we have to line our schedules in, and that was such a bottleneck where it's like I couldn't imagine what it would be with a collective. And the sad reality is the only thing that unites people is the paycheck.
Right.
If your livelihood is dependent on you doing, then you're gonna show up.
Right.
Right. The only way to make something legit is to have everyone getting paid.
That's just like, unfortunately,
that's the hard part.
That is the hard part, but that's also like, because all these people are working for full-time jobs to survive. It's unfortunate that artists have to struggle and have to work these full-time jobs and have to, put the art as a second priority and stuff. I mean, some of these kids that, were in second city and stuff, they got their parents taking care of their bills. They got time in the world, but then
that's not a reality for a lot of these
motivated people
listening to this podcast. I'm telling you, yeah.
But like, so for me, I was like, listen, I want to go in. I know my trajectory. Like if I'm going to do this, I'm heavily committing to it because that's how I am. Like if I'm going to go in, I go all out. Like I wanted to travel the world. I became a flight attendant. You know what I mean? Like I don't fuck around. Like I find a way and I do it and I go, right? So I was like, this seems so much, stand-up seems so much more something that I'll be in control of, and I'll be able to just rely on myself and not have to depend on anybody.
Yeah.
And so and that's why, like, and you'd even see me, like, I go to every single room in the city. I do not give a shit. I'm out here. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get stronger. I'll work all the rooms because I need to be able to go in front of all these different audiences. And I wanted to just get as much stage time as I could.
You're not doing yourself any favors by working to only one space, You're really not.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Because I have to be honest with you. I first thought that as well, and then I realized that I don't know why I'm limiting my own self to thinking that, because some people will just work to one room and they'll find their niche audience, and like no shade, no judgment. You know what I mean? But for me, the comedian that I want to be is a comedian that is like the person I am, which is a person that can get along with everyone. I've spent my whole life existing in multicultures, like multicultures, multiculturalism in multiple cultures. I myself am, of multiple cultures and multiple backgrounds, and I have, the ability to adapt to so many different situations. Like I've lived in. But
you got to admit, stand up. Everything in life, that's what the 10,000 hours comes down to, is that we're all just computers. We're biological computers, and we need as much data as possible. 10,000 hours of data for us to get a general mastery on something.
Right.
So it's like, in your mind, you're like, okay, you can work in just this space and build that niche. That's fine. That can work. It's worked 100 times over.
Right.
But you're not going to tell me if we look at 10 comedians right now, and 5 of them work to only their room of their niche room, or they only work to their room of specialty, and 5 work any room. I guarantee you, none of those 5 who work every room, and if you fast forward 10 years, are gonna ever have the regret, should have probably stuck to just that one room. Whereas if you look at the 5 that stuck to the only one room, all the regret's gonna lie there. If there's any regret, it's gonna be, should have probably tried more black rooms when I was working up. Should have probably done more this. Should have probably done some really PC stuff before this moment. There's no one's gonna be like, fuck, I got exposed to too many different environments.
Right.
That's never a regret. You'll never hear that regret.
Right.
You'll never hear that regret. So you can build a niche audience, but to be a master in all respects of the word master in any whatever environment you're put in front of it, being into show environment, you have to get exposed to as many scenarios as possible. You just have to be. And that lends itself with doing any room, regardless of it's categorized as, this is a boys room, this is a PC room, this is LGBTQ, this one is very militant immigrant, this is, you know what I mean? You got to do them all. That's my show, by the way. I'm the militant immigrant show, by the way.
Yeah. So anyways, all that to say that for me, the biggest appeal for stand-up, I mean, aside from the rush of obviously that first time being on stage, and well, because mine went well. Sorry.
You're paying for that mic.
But aside from that rush, it was also just this realization that like, like all the struggle that you've been having on this web series that you've been working on and waiting around for everybody and all this stuff, all of those issues are out the window, and you can just actually write, create, perform, book everything yourself. And that's what I did. And like from there, then I started working these rooms, and that's why my thing was to create my solo show and tour it around the world. That was my mission, and I just did it by myself, like just because I didn't need anybody else anymore, right?
Okay, hell yeah. And I want to, and we're coming up on an hour. I'd love to just hear about that solo show, because that's something I would love to do. Yeah. And was you inspired by Fringe? Did you do Fringe first, Edinburgh?
No, I did the Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
The same vibe? It's the same kind of like Fringe style?
Just went in deep, huh?
Wait, that's like a proper festival in Australia, right?
It's the second biggest comedy festival in the world after Just for Laughs, yeah.
This is the Melbourne one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear a lot of top headliners. So how did you get in without just like Fringe stuff, or did they just look at your Toronto shit?
No. So I went the year before.
Yeah, just to check it out.
Just risked it all. I just went there.
Standby flight?
No, I couldn't. I couldn't use. That's the shitty thing, is I couldn't use my flight passes.
So you paid cash. That means you wanted it.
No,
huh?
I actually I had miles saved.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's no shame in that.
Yeah. No, I got
you
miles.
You banked them
baby.
well,
I got miles.
And you reap the benefits.
No, see, this is the thing. You got to learn to hustle when you don't got a lot in life, which I did not have a lot, but I learned to hustle, so I got a lot of hustle, and that's all you really need. So what I did was I signed up for credit cards that had promos on them.
Yeah.
Sign up,
get 1,500 free points.
5,000 miles. Sign up for this one, get this many miles. And then I put them together, and I was like, oh, you look at that. I got a one-way plane ticket to Australia.
It's like just so much debt. You're like flying.
No, but
No, you don't even use it. I know you use it.
I don't. I did
no,
not
they say you use a minimum
cards.
amount to get them. And then you use it, you pay it off, and you have the thing.
Exactly. And then you cancel them. It's amazing. So I was hustling, and I was getting myself.
I did that one time, but not by design. Because I didn't know you could accumulate points. How do you accumulate points?
You just gotta look for the
You're like,
deals, y'all. I'm gonna give you these hot tips and tricks, yo.
But you just crashed it. You crashed the door. You went to Melbourne Comedy Festival. You're like, let's see what the fuck's going on here.
Went to Melbourne Comedy Festival. I had somebody who had said if I came down there that I could open for them. So I did a couple of shows for them. But then when people saw me, then they were like, oh, she's funny. So then they booked me on a bunch of shows. And so I circulated around there.
Is it 2 weeks? Is it 2 weeks?
It's a month.
It's a month, okay.
Yeah. And so enough that from there, I got some people, like I asked around, like, where else can I go? Some people put me in touch with some of the clubs. And because I only bought a one-way ticket with no plans in 6 weeks, I could just easily hop around. I ended up doing a bunch of, like, I did a couple clubs. I went to Nimbin, which is like the weed capital of Australia.
That sounds racist as fuck.
Festival there.
Nimbin, Australia.
Just a bunch of old
sounds like
white
a slur
hippies.
right away. Get out of here, you fucking Nimbin.
It was actually, it's really beautiful.
They're
all hippies there. They're just a bunch of
no beef, Nimbin.
Bunch of old white people,
no beef.
But like really lovely.
They're all just pilots. They're retired pilots.
No, man. They just
oh, Roger, you're here,
like,
bro. Roger. Oh, Roger 3.
It was such a surreal experience, actually. That like just thinking about, I haven't thought about that in so long, but it was. I remember like these like, there's this group of women. They must have been in their like 60s, and I like walked in and they saw me. And they're like, "Honey, you are so lovely," and I'm like, "Thank you." They're like, "Be you, be yourself. You are perfect." And I was like, "Thank you." Then she like petted my hair and walked away, and I'm like, "What the fuck is happening right now?"
She whispered in your ear, "Do you want to buy mushrooms?"
You know what I mean? She was
Yeah.
clearly on something. I should have asked
That's
her for
too
some shrooms.
loving. Yeah.
Yeah, but so and then
So you made
the
a name
next-
for yourself
so,
almost.
Yeah, so I did a little bit, enough that when I called in the next year and said I want to do my solo show, they already knew who I was because I had already established myself a little bit in Australia. Had I not done that, I wouldn't have gotten into the festival. You know, I built a rapport there, right? I did it by just kind of risking it all. Like
That was my plan this year. I applied to Edinburgh.
Oh, man.
2020. I got denied, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna fly there for 2 weeks.
Yo, I was gonna be in Edinburgh this year.
What are you gonna do? You just gonna fly there, or you got
No,
a
I
show?
was in there. I was
You got
at
accepted?
20 shows in Edinburgh.
What venue?
I forget what it
The
was
Sisters,
called.
whatever.
No, not the Sisters. It was Club 50 or whatever.
But I was gonna
Bar
go.
50.
I was gonna go and just literally do the exact same thing you did, but you know,
Yeah.
COVID fucked all that up. So that worked. So man, if that means it would have worked, then I would have
I
got
mean, it
in
worked
next
for me,
year.
but I also had a really good first open mic. I'm saying I don't know. If it worked for you.
Fix my microphone. Pay for that. You fucked it up.
You asked me to come and do this podcast so I could bully you, right? For an hour? Because
Fix
that's
my
what I'm doing.
microphone. I can't afford it.
No, but yeah, no, that's a good plan.
It'll work.
Listen, for me,
I like how you did that.
I think that
For me, it worked
No,
perfectly.
No, but for me,
I
like
can't
in
even
my
stress.
life, the only things that have ever worked is just jumping in and figuring it out. You know, so for me, in my opinion, yeah, that's the best thing to do.
Well,
What's the other option?
Yeah, exactly. Is stay and hope for next year.
Hope somebody invites you.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody go invite you. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I don't wait around for invitations.
So how was doing Melbourne? That was 2019 then, doing your actual show?
No, that was 2018.
18 was
the first time I did my show there.
So that was when they approved you and you're there on the catalog or whatever.
Wait, I'm getting confused. 2018 was the first time I was there. 2019, I was my show.
Yeah, that's what I thought because I saw the poster for it.
Yes.
Touring the world.
And I was supposed to do a bunch this year. I had a whole world tour. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to cry on your podcast.
Oh, look at
I had
that.
a
World tour got
tour
canceled.
get
I guess
canceled.
that first set wasn't so
But
good.
it's okay because it came so easily to me. Like it didn't take
Okay.
any work. It's not like I stayed up for like nights on end doing shitty administrative work that I hate to motherfucking do to build up for my tour. Oh my God, my heart was broken when this started. Oh, in 5 days, 6 of my festivals canceled. And I just crawled.
This was
under a
your
blanket.
year. This was
my
year.
motherfucking year. This was my year, and I'd sold out my show so I did Perth.
Yeah.
In January, February, the World Fringe, and I sold out my shows there. Came back to
All of
Toronto.
them?
Yeah.
Like how many? Don't you do a bunch?
Yeah, I did 10 shows and I sold out 8 of them.
Wow, holy shit.
And then I came back only because I was filming this movie and I had to come back for a few more filming days. So I came back and then I was going to go back because then I was doing Melbourne and then I was doing Sydney. Then I was doing a tour in Gold Coast and Brisbane. And then I was coming back. I was going to Boston. Then I was doing Toronto Fringe. Then I was going to Edinburgh.
Jesus Christ.
And that was only until August and then I had more that I had planned to do. I was going to get 100 shows by the end of the year, but then everything got canceled. I was like, oh. Well, and then they said, don't worry, 2021. And now it doesn't look like 2021 is going to happen for nobody.
Fuck. But would you say that health-wise, because I know that weirdly enough, when COVID hit, I actually I had a big reduction in stress. Just because of how much I was being like, yo, okay, I'm doing all this work during the day and I got to make it out every night.
Right.
I got to perform pretty much, 6 nights a week or whatever it is.
Right.
And then when it first hit, I was like, no, I'm going to deteriorate as a comedian. My life's over. And then when you realize everyone's in the same boat and the weeks go by, Rush Cassie?
Yeah.
She lives around here. I was just walking around and I ran into her walking her dog and we had the most healthiest comedian conversation I've ever had. And I'm like, damn, man, everyone's healthy as fuck now.
Yeah.
Everyone's sleeping well and they're walking and shit. I'm like, this has actually been great for comedians because you would never stop. Not you. You're like, just your system's just shutting down. You're like, I need Kamada.
Yeah,
I would have never done this by volunteer ever. And I'm way past that point because there's like a couple months where I was like, wow, I wouldn't have stopped for this, but
yeah.
I'm ready to go back. I'm ready for it to go back.
I think I do appreciate what you're saying. I think a little bit of stillness was necessary for all of us. You know what I mean? And like, I think it was good for the world to take a chill for a second as well, because we are so busy and we do neglect certain things and we don't realize the importance of. But I think that a lot of people are realizing that our values need to be reassessed, and that's what I think was beneficial about the stillness, to be honest. But dude, I miss
100%. Did you discover anything?
Doing my show, huh?
Did you discover any hobby or anything that surfaced in the absence of stand up? Like, I love knitting or some shit.
No, but I
You love reminiscing about stand up. I love to look back. I love looking back.
My wine out of a bottle and watching my old shows.
Yeah.
No, I think maybe I'm learning some skills about like creating online content and stuff a little bit. I haven't really put much out there right now because I'm still kind of figuring it out. And I don't like to put things out there until I know what I'm doing. So I've been doing a lot of quiet work,
lingering, watching.
Like,
yeah.
Watch out, motherfuckers! I'm coming for ya. Right? But I have to figure out how to exist in this world, right? So I'm just gonna have to adapt and figure it out. So I've been working towards that kind of stuff. So that's I think what I'm discovering a little bit. And I'm also like some personal self-reflection and figuring out my own balance, right, in this new world. But I think it's okay. Like we're all going to survive this. The thing is, we're all in this together. And
right.
I feel like everybody's having good days and bad days, and I'm hoping that people are going to, come out of this stronger. However they come out of it, like more of a sense of self and sense of community, and realizing that, there's value in the people around you and all of the stuff.
And the structures we took for granted can actually just go away and not become the standard, like in a day.
Right.
In just one day, you could be in a 40-person line outside the grocery store waiting to get milk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the craziest shit. Did you do any virtual comedy shows?
I did a couple.
Was your soul crushed? Would you say that you lost sleep?
No, I didn't. But I did enjoy it. Like I didn't. It's
like a Band-Aid comedy show. It's like it's making do.
Well, I mean, listen. I'm a live performer for a reason. Like I like to get up in front of people, hear that laughter, feel that energy in that room. And there's just nothing compared to that. There's nothing that compares to it,
100%.
And I've always been somebody who like really feeds off of people's energy and really just like loves to make people laugh. And when you're on a Zoom show, you can't feel that energy. You can't even hear the laughter.
And even if Wi-Fi is like strong.
Yeah.
Even if Wi-Fi is strong.
Yeah, and mine is not. So
yeah, exactly. So
so it's just not the same thing. And
you cut off, you come back up during the punchline.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like,
and then I run them over.
And then you take that silence from the laughter, and you're like, let's just hope they're laughing and not staring at me, waiting for me to tell the next joke. But yeah, no, it was fine. Like I had fun, but it wasn't really like it's not what I want.
It's making do, yeah.
And it's just for me. There's no point. It's just like it's like I never think about the food that I'm consuming. Like I eat what I want because I love eating. I love food, right? If I'm enjoying it, I eat it.
I'm so into food.
But if something's shitty, I'm not going to eat it because it's just empty calories for what? Do you know what I mean? Like if it's shitty, you know what I mean? So like
that's what it was.
That's what it was. It was just like I was just it's like I'd rather find a different way of channeling my creativity that feels more fulfilling than trying to patch up something that's broken. You know what I mean?
It's like you're trying to do a live thing through Wi-Fi. It just does not work. It fails everything. It has no connection. It just doesn't work. You know? It doesn't work. And it doesn't feel good.
Some people are doing it and some people are enjoying it. They're still finding a way for them to like continue writing and continue connecting with people.
And being creative,
And if that's working for them, like, again, like I try not to, like, Abbas obviously likes to judge everybody, but I try not to judge
They're
people.
stupid and I do it the correct way. Do it how I do it and then you'll see how it Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck virtual comedy shows. I did one and I was like, what the fuck? Why did I say yes to this? This is a nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I actually feel bad. I left it and felt bad.
Did you?
Yeah. I felt bad. I was like, I wish I wasn't seen on there. It doesn't.
Was it like
the
your
rules
first mic?
change. Yeah, exactly. You're paying for that microphone. You know that? I was gonna let it slide. I was gonna fucking let it slide. But I'm billing you. I wish we had
pay for it
Venmo.
with all my
I would
comedy
send
money.
a Venmo request right now if we had Venmo. Damn you, Canada, catch up. But fuck, Aliya, yo, we hit the hour 10 mark.
Yo,
that is the
how
golden.
did time fly
That is
so
the golden
fast?
zone. That's how
so
what happens
interesting.
at the immigrant section.
So interesting.
I never even got a chance to ask, and let me just ask right now. You ever caught people fucking in the air? Mile High Club? You never even said the airline. Just say it.
Yeah.
Yeah? You have? In the bathroom or where?
Yeah.
And you opened the door or you just heard it?
I knocked on the door and I let them know that we were aware. That they were
The
in
no
there.
seatbelt sign is now
I was
flashing.
nice about it.
Yeah,
I was nice
exactly.
about it. I wasn't shitty, because we all been there.
Yeah. You're like, hey, yeah, your tray was held in the downright position. I went ahead and lifted it. So enjoy yourselves.
Right. Just make sure you're safety first, guys.
They're just like, shh. Dude, that I always think about it in there. I'm like, it's a pretty small place, man. I'm claustrophobic. I don't think I'd make it work.
Right.
I'm always like, I want to be in the Mile High. I have that idea.
Right.
But right when I'm on a flight and I'm in that bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have never been horny to the point where I was like, if I could just get her in here and this fucking
tiny little.
and this feng
Just
shui
wait till you rich.
box.
Wait till you rich and you fly in business class and you got that massive bathroom.
Oh,
in there.
that's a whole new game,
Then you gonna
Yo,
be,
we're gonna be fucking in the sky. Yo, tell the people where to find you.
Oh, you can find me at Aliya Comedy spelled with a K. So it's my first name Aliya and then comedy spelled with a K.
And .com? Or this is your tag?
Sorry, that's my IG.
Okay,
and my
well, I
Facebook
put it in the
page.
description, so it'll all be there.
And then
Yep.
also my website's aliyakanani.com.
I'll put that on there.
Which I don't update much, but I will get better at it. But yeah, check me out. Follow me. I don't have a lot on there right now because I've never been one for social media, TBH, but I'm starting now because how else am I going to connect with people? So I'm going to be putting out some cool content there. So definitely check me out. Hit me up. It's going to be good.
Fuck yeah. Check the description for all his shit. I'm going to put it all there, the website, everything. From my end, wherever you're listening or watching, just click follow, subscribe so I can give you updates. Remember, there's weekly bonus episodes on the Patreon. And yo, leave a review if it's Apple. Leave a comment if it's YouTube. And if it's Spotify, fuck off. No, I'm kidding. Imagine. Just click follow.
Such an aggressive way to end.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
I love Spotify.
Remember, don't 9/11.
Yeah, don't 9/11. All right? And thank you for coming to the Immigrant Section. Don't 9/11. Peace.
Peace.